Good afternoon, everyone. It's your English class, and today we are going to study our fourth chapter, Verbs Expressing the Future. So let's start. So basically, dear students, we are going to learn about the future tense. Let's read this. Will, shall, simple future. We use I'll when we decide to do something at the time of speaking. Would you like to eat something? Thank you. I'll have some sandwiches, please. There is no milk to make tea. Don't worry, I'll go and get some. So, dear students, first of all, we have to understand we can mention the auxiliary verb for future tense will or shall, right? But instead of this, you need to put apostrophe then double L. So, if you put apostrophe and double L, so it means you are talking like you are taking any of one, like will or shall. It means will also and shall also. Okay. So you can say I shall instead of saying I shall, you can say I'll, right? So I shall or I will be used when we decide for future, when we plan something, I will do something in future. For that sense, you need to use I plus will or shall. Okay. And when you use negative sentence, you need to say I won't. It is a short form of will not. You can say I won't take much time of yours. So instead of saying I will not, you can say I won't. We often use will to express something which is certain to happen, something which we can't alter, something over which we have no control. So basically, what will happen in future, and we can't alter that, we can't make any change. That will happen definitely. For this sense, we use will. Like the school will remain closed tomorrow. They won't declare the results before 10th May. Next point number 4. We use will to express the speaker's view. I am feeling feverish. I think I'll consult a doctor. It's very hot in the afternoons. I don't think I'll go out. Used with I think, I don't think. So dear students, when we express the speaker views, when speaker means like I and we are the speakers. So in English, these are the count the first person. First person is I and we, right? So when we say like we decide that in future I will do this. So for that sense, we should use will, right? Point number B, to offer to do something. I'll open the door for you. You look tired. I'll get you some tea. So here also, like when we offer the help, offer something to do that, in that case also we can use I plus will or I plus shall. I shall help you. I shall make tea for you. You can say like that. Point number C, to promise to do something. When we make promise to do something in future, for that sense also, we can use simple future or like a willow shell. Like thanks for the books or book. I'll return it by Sunday. We are making promise to someone and we are saying that I'll return it by Sunday means I promise that I will return these books by Sunday. So when you make promise, then you can use will or shall. To ask somebody to do something, when we ask somebody to do something, in that sense also we use will or shall. Like, will you please get me some aspirin? I have got a headache. So just asking the question, we can use will or shall. Next point number 5, shall I or shall we? Shall is not common in modern English. Shall I or shall we are used in questions to make offers or suggestions. Shall I get you some coffee? Shall we visit the adventure island this weekend? So, dear students, in these days, usually we don't use a shall with the subject. Means like when we talk about the future, so we don't use shall. But in question sentence with I and we put the shall to offer something or to give any suggestion. For that sense, we can use shall have auxiliary verb with I and be. Right? Okay, now let's conclude all the things whatever we have studied. So simply, dear students, we need to understand that when we decide that in present and future I will do this. Suppose you say that in Hindi, मैं तुमसे मिलूंगा. So now you have decided that I will do this work of meeting with you. So for this sense, we need to use future tense, right? So whatever we will do in future, so we for those actions we should use some future tense. And when we talk about the simple future, means when we decide that I will do this, and for this sense, we should use will or shall auxiliary verb. After that, always remember after will or shall we should use root form, which is also called base form, right? Like come is base form or root form, came is second form, again come is third form, played, plays a root form, base form. So with the will or shall, we need to use root form. Now we need to understand we have two auxiliary verbs. One is will and second is a shall. So we should use that. So in these days we don't use a shall. Why? Because shall we can use with first person, singular or plural. We can understand that shall we can use with I and we, but we can use first person with second person with third person too. Means with I, we, you, he, she, it, name. With all the subjects we can use will, but with first person, singular and plural we can use shall. That's why people have stopped using the shall, because with every type of subject will is right, so they don't use a shall. But if you use shall auxiliary verb with I and we, that's also right, but usually people don't use, because will is always right with I, we, you, he, she, with every type of subject, right? Second point we have to understand here, shall we basically we use with I and we when we put the question, when we make question. In that sense we can use shall, or we can use a shall with the I and we. Like sometimes teachers ask you, shall we start the class? Means just I'm asking the suggestion from your side. Shall I help you? I'm giving an offer. Shall I switch on the TV? I'm just taking suggestion from you. So just taking suggestion or giving suggestion or offer something, we use shall with I and we, right? Next point, next page please. Exercise 1, complete these sentences with I'll, a suitable verb or for oral practice. So stable verb is base form, root form we need to use, but which verb will come you need to see that. Like I have received your letter, you some money by Monday. So you need to say I have received your letter, you'll send some money by Monday. I apostrophe double L means I will or I shall. Okay, it indicates to both. So in this way you need to do this exercise number 1. Now please come on the exercise number 2. Frame question with shall I or shall we to suit these situations. So dear students, you need to make question with the shall I or shall we. Example is written here. It is not safe to go alone at this late hour. Shall I come with you? Means we are just offering. We are just or like giving offer to come with you. So that's why like author has used the shall here with I. So you need to read these sentences and you need to fill with the question word like shall I or shall we. Okay. Now please come on the B point, going to. We use the going to form to suggest that there is an intention or a decision to do something in the near future. We are going to play a friendly match tomorrow. The employees are going to press for pay revision. So dear students, in this point, we have to understand that when we have intention or we have decided something in the like in the near future, I will do this, or in the near future, it will be done. So for that sense, instead of using will or shall, you can use going to. Like someone says that I will start a business, so it means he has decided he will start a business in near future. So instead of saying like I will start a new business, he or she can say that I am going to start a new business, right? I will finish this book very soon. I'm going to finish this book very soon. Instead of shall or will, you can use going to when something you have decided you will do in the future. Second point, we also use this form to predict a future action when there is a clear evidence of its coming true. When we don't have decided something, but in future that will be done because you have a strong prediction regarding this, you have clear evidence regarding this. She is getting wet in rain, she is going to catch flu. Someone has got wet in the rain, so you just imagine that you just give the prediction she's going to catch flu. The signal has turned green, the train is soon coming. You have a clear evidence that this has been done, means like signal has turned green, so the train will come. So instead of train will come, you can say the train is soon going to enter the platform. You can say the train will enter the platform. Okay, so instead of will, you can use going to, ism or going to, will or going to. Going to if an intention or decision exists beforehand. Will if a decision is made at the time of speaking. So this is like this difference. We are going to shift to a new house. The decision has already been made. The landlord is going to increase the rent of this house. Means if I say we are going to shift to our new house, it means we have decided something. Okay, the landlord is going to increase the rent of this house. जो landlord है, he will increase the rent of the house, that's why they are going to do this. We won't accept it that we'll shift to a new house. The decision is made at the time of speaking. So regarding this, decision has been made at the time of speaking. Exercise number 3, fill in the blanks with will or the going to form. So these fill-ups you have to fill with the will or going to. Okay. Now please come on the C part. Present continuous with the future meaning. Preeti is getting married next week. I am leaving this office next month. We use present continuous tense to express a future action if the speaker knows that something is going to happen because an arrangement has already been made. So dear friends, for the future action, we can use present continuous tense also. When speaker knows that regarding that action, some arrangement has been made. For that sense, we can use present continuous tense to for the future. In the going to form, there is the intention of decision, but there may not be any arrangement. When we use going to, so there is the intention, decision that like this I will do that or this will be done in future, but there are chances that that will not be done. Okay, in the present continuous tense, there is a some kind of arrangement. So in this we show that we have arranged something. I'm leaving this office next month. So if I say that I will leave the office next month, means I am this now I have decided and I will do this in the next month. But if I say I am leaving this office next month, it means that I will do this work in future, but some arrangement I have done, means like I have got job in new office. Okay, and if I say I am going to leave this office next month, it means that some evidence are there. That's why some clear evidence are there. That's why it appears that just I am going to leave the office. Next, I am going to leave the office next month, decision, but there may not be any arrangement. So it's possible like we haven't made any arrangement. That's why we are saying this. But there is only slight difference between these two forms, and in most of these cases, either of them can be used. But dear students, we need to understand very slight difference is there. Sometimes it happens both, like either of them can be used. If present continuous is used to express a future time, the time must be mentioned. If we talk about if you want to use the present continuous tense for future actions, so one thing we should remember that we should include the time. You can see that I am leaving this office next month, so time of future has been written here. So by this we can understand that we are talking about the future. Going to intention or indication, but there may be no planning. So when there is an intention, there is an indication we will do something, but planning is not there. So for that sense, we can use going to. Next, simple present with the future meaning. The train leaves tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. The inter-school hockey tournament begins next month. So dear students, simple present we can use for future meaning also. Simple present tense is often used to express future events fixed by the calendar or by the official timetable. When something is fixed that will happen in future, for those actions we can use simple present tense also. First sentence you can see that the train leaves tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So it is officially decided that the next train, which will like a particular train is there that will leave every day at 6 a.m. So we can use that like simple present tense for this action, like a train leaves tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Next, since the speaker has no control over these events, we could have expressed them by using will also. So will also we can use instead of this. The train will leave tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. अगर मैं कहता हूं कि कल 6 बजे ट्रेन जाएगी, for this action I can use simple future and simple present also, like the train will leave tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. or we can also say the train leaves tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Right? Now please come on the exercise number 4. Given below is the schedule of Mr. Jackson, an educationist from London. Monday 7th July arrival, Tuesday 8th July visiting schools, addressing a meeting of principals. Wednesday 9th July a short visit to Agra. Thursday 10th July meeting with CBSE officials. Friday 11th July departure for Sydney. Now filling the blanks in the flowing passages with the simple future tense of suitable verbs. So dear students, you need to use simple future tense. It's a very simple to use this. Helping verb means auxiliary verb, we have to use will, and main verb you have to fill root form, because we know that in simple future we have to use root form, means base form. Let's talk about future continuous. Form will be ing form of verb. So formation of future continuous tenses will be and then ing form of the main verb. Like I am sure she will be waiting for you. So this is the formation I have told you. Instead of saying that she will, we can say she'll. She, then apostrophe, then double F. Now let's talk about how to use future continuous tense. We use this tense to express an action which will be in progress at a given moment in future. When something will be going on in the future at a given moment, for those actions we should use future continuous tense. Like tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mr. Grover will be flying to Paris. So we are talking about the future, and at what time we are talking about means like for what time we are talking about, that time that action was going on. So for this sense we can use future continuous tense. At this time next Monday we will be celebrating your birthday. So we are talking about the next Monday, and this work will be going on. This work will be in process. So we are talking about the future. So in for that case, we can use future continuous tense. Second point, we also use this tense to express an action that is fairly certain to happen in the future. When something is certain to happen in the future, for and for this sense also we can use future continuous tense, like next week we'll be shifting to a new house. However, we can say the same thing using the present continuous tense. Next week we are shifting to a new house. So with the both tense we can use for this sense. Next, exercise number 5. This is what Suchi family will be doing tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Father watching news on television, waiting for dinner. Mother preparing dinner. Gopal helping mother in the kitchen. Sumit preparing for the midterm examination. Young Sonu sleeping. Suchi doing her homework. So Suchi routine is mentioned here. What she will do tomorrow. So let's read that. What's written there? Frame sentences to describe what Suchi family will be doing tomorrow. So Suchi family, what will be like doing tomorrow? We need to mention here. Example is written here. At 8:30 p.m. tomorrow, father will be watching news on television. So future continuous tense you need to use. Mother will be preparing dinner. Gopal will be helping mother in the kitchen. So in this way you have to do this exercise. Now let's come on the future perfect tense. Formation will have, then past participle form of the verb means third form. By next Monday, he'll have changed his job. Use we use this tense to express an action completed before a given future moment. When any action will be completed in the future, for that sense we need to use future perfect tense. Right? When you reach home, your father will already have left for office. जब तुम घर पहुंचोगे, तुम्हारे father office के लिए जा चुके होंगे. Means action will be completed by the moment of future. So for that sense, we should use future perfect tense. Exercise number 6. Given below are some ideas to describe change that will have come about in 10 years' time. Express them in complete sentence using the future perfect tense for oral practice. So this exercise you have to do for oral practice. So some ideas have been written here which will be happened in future. So let's read this. A cure for AIDS. In 10 years' time, doctors will have described a cure for AIDS. So this means these actions you need to fill with the future perfect tense. As example number, like example is given there. So in this example, we have done that. Same you have to do with all the expressions, like computers taking over most of the office work. So computers will have taken most of the office work. So will have taken means future perfect tense you have to use. Now future perfect continuous tense formation will have been, then ing form. By 5 o'clock, Minu will have been sitting in meditation for 2 hours. We use this tense to express an action which will begin before a given moment in the future, will continue up to the moment, and will be in progress even at that moment. When something will be happening in the future from a particular moment, so for those actions and for this sense we should use this future perfect continuous tense. When the siren goes off, he will have been working at this machine for hours at a stretch. So you can see that action will have been going on in the future from a particular moment, and that's why we have used here future perfect continuous tense, means will have been plus ing form. Exercise number 7. Rewrite these sentences using the future perfect continuous tense of the verbs given in the brackets. So you need to rewrite these sentences and you need to fill the verbs also. Like one example has been done for you. Tomorrow at this time we to Shimla for 2 hours. So we can say that tomorrow at this time we will have been driving to Shimla for 2 hours. So in this way you have to do this exercise. Now your this chapter is completed. Now let's talk about letter writing. Please open chapter number 30. Chapter number 30, page number 209, please. First, this we have to write and learn. Okay. Dear students, this letter you have to write and learn. So as we all know that there are two types of letter. One is called formal and second is called informal. Informal letters are those like which we write to our parents, to our family members, to our friends. Those letters are called informal letters. Formal letters are those which we write to school principal or newspaper editors or other departmental office. We write them. So those letters are called formal letters, right? So in this letter, basically we are going to understand about informal letters. So let's read the statement. Write a letter to your father seeking his permission to join an educational tour organized by your school. So your school is going to organize an educational tour. So regarding this, you want to take permission from your father, and that's why you write a letter to your father. So this is an informal letter. Why? Because you are going to write a letter to your father. So first of all, in this letter, you need to imagine that you stay in school, and from school you are sending a letter to your father. So first of all, we need to write the sender address, right? Sender address means your address you need to write. So in this you can write here, the Century School, Gharaunda. The Century School, Gharaunda. Then after that you need to leave one line. Then you need to write the date, April 30, 2021. Again you need to leave one line. Then you need to write here, my dear father. Okay. In this you need to remember this. M will be capital of my and F will be capital of father. Then you will write the main information. First of all, introduction you will write. In the last, conclusion you will write. In the mid you will write the necessary information. Okay. And then in the last you will write the subscription words. And then in the last you need to write the signature. Let's read this. It has been a long time since I wrote to you. Means author is saying that like a long time has been passed. I did not write anything to you. My examination are over and you will be glad to know that I have done well. So author is telling about his examination and he's saying that like examinations are over now and he has got good marks in this. Next line. Our school is organizing an educational tour to Mumbai during the summer vacation. Mr. R.N. Khanna, our science teacher, will accompany us on this tour. So he's saying that there is an educational tour in our school, and Mr. R.N. Khanna like will accompany with us, and we are going to Mumbai in during summer vacation. It is a month-long tour, and we plan to visit Mathura, Agra, Gwalior in route. So in this, like author is saying that it's a 1 month tour, and in this we will visit Mathura also, Agra and Gwalior. Gwalior in route means like in the way. In Mumbai, we plan to stay for 10 days, and he's saying that Mumbai we plan that we will stay there for 10 days, and intend visiting Elephanta Caves, and Gateway of India and the famous Isle World. So in this, he's saying that I will visit these places also. We also propose to visit the Shirdi and Pune. So the Shirdi and Pune, they will also go. The school shall bear all expenses for lodging, We shall have to pay only for the fare and the food. Now he is saying that we will pay only for fare and food, rest of things school will pay. Papa, it is a great opportunity for me to go sightseeing and I would not like to miss it. I sincerely hope you will allow me to join the party. In the last line, like in last two lines, he is saying that I want to join this. I do not want to miss this opportunity. So I hope that you will definitely allow me to join this party. In the last, you need to write your affectionately, then you need to write your name. Okay, so this letter you have to write in your notebook, and then you have to learn, then you have to do practice in your practice notebook. Okay, so now dear students, if you want to ask any question, then please come forward.